The NFL preseason is in full swing, but a move that the league made away from the field is grabbing headlines. The NFL reached an agreement with rapper Jay-Z's entertainment company, Roc Nation, to advise the league on entertainment offerings like the Super Bowl halftime show. The deal also puts the company in charge of amplifying the league's social justice program called Inspire Change. The league has been criticized for its approach to social justice because of its relationship with Colin Kaepernick. Wednesday marked 3 years since the former quarterback first started kneeling during the national anthem to protest police brutality and racial injustice. Inspire Change is designed to help combat the issues Kaepernick addressed. But some players aren't happy that Kaepernick is not involved with the program. Safety Eric Reed, who also protested with Kaepernick, tweeted, "The NFL is championing social justice to cover their own systemic oppression in blackballing Colin." He also criticized Jay-Z, saying the rapper, quote, knowingly made a money move with the very people who've committed an injustice against Colin and is using social injustice to smooth it over with the black community. Well, John Breech is an NFL writer for CBSSports.com, and he joins me now from Nashville, Tennessee. So what do you think, John? Is this move going to appease critics of the NFL who say that it hasn't really properly responded after Kaepernick?
Well, I don't think it's going to appease critics like Eric Reed and other players. It really feels like they think that Jay-Z kind of sold out Colin Kaepernick here. You have Jay-Z, you have Roc Nation putting together this deal with the NFL. And if you're Jay-Z, the smart thing, you've seen this controversy for the past 3 years. You probably should have reached out to Colin Kaepernick at some point, maybe involve him in the negotiations with the NFL. Maybe say, hey, NFL, we'll do this deal if you can get Colin Kaepernick a job back in the league or at least a shot with the team. And neither of those things happen. So it's not surprising that guys like Eric Reed are upset with Jay-Z. And although Colin Kaepernick himself hasn't said anything, his girlfriend, Nessa Diab, has been pretty vocal on Twitter, and they clearly seem pretty unhappy with the situation. But I will say the big winner is the NFL because it looks like they're trying to make a change here, and Jay-Z's taking all the blowback for this, so they're kind of come away scotch clean here.
So talk to me a little bit, John, about the NFL versus the NBA. You know, NFL players have shown an interest in taking up social justice issues. The NBA often allows its players to take charge in these initiatives. Why does the NFL do the same there?
Yeah, the thing with NBA is they do a great job of celebrating the individual players. NBA has been much more progressive with allowing players to speak their mind and speak out for things that they want to improve, whether that is social injustice, whatever they think has been better. So the NBA has been doing that for years. With the NFL, when Colin Kaepernick started kneeling, that just took everyone by shock. And the NFL isn't so much about celebrating the individual like the NBA is. So it literally took 3 years for the NFL to take this step. If you're wondering how slowly things move at the headquarters in New York City.
You know, another player embroiled in controversy, Antonio Brown. He's the new star wide receiver for the Oakland Raiders. Can you sort of break this down for us? Why is he so upset?
Well, this has been one of the most bizarre situations in the NFL that I've ever seen. This all started, he went to France in July. His feet got frostbitten because he decided to go in a cryotherapy chamber. And if that wasn't weird enough, he came back, he showed up to Oakland, and then he didn't practice. He didn't show up to practice because he has a helmet that the NFL won't let him wear. The NFL bans helmets. They get tested for safety every year. If a helmet is not safe enough, they are not allowed to wear it. With Antonio Brown, his helmet was safe enough, but it was too old. His helmet is 12 years old. The NFL does not allow you to wear any helmet that's over 10 years old. So all of a sudden, he threatens to sit out because he can't find a helmet he likes. And the thing is, players have known for over a year that this was going to be the year that the old helmets were going to be tossed out. Tom Brady had to get a new helmet. Aaron Rodgers had to get a new helmet. Drew Brees had to get a new helmet. All these guys got a new helmet. We're not hearing about them maybe retiring. But Antonio Brown, he's been quite a handful for the Raiders so far, and they might be having buyer's remorse at this point.
Interesting to hear you say that. You know, Brady's also complaining about the helmets, right? Just the vision isn't so great. Is that the deal that a lot of people are complaining about?
Yeah, Brady doesn't love the helmet, but he's not saying he's going to quit the team if they don't get him a new helmet. So he's dealing with it.
I want to turn now to preseason games. You know, we've gotten sort of a first look at the 3 rookie quarterbacks drafted in the first round. You got Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins. What do you make of their debuts?
Well, Daniel Jones wowed a lot of people last week, but that was against the Jets, so it's hard to say how impressive that was. But tonight, Friday night, he's got a game against the Bears. If he goes out and looks just as impressive, that's where the Giants front office has to say, hey, maybe Daniel Jones is good enough to start. Maybe we got to think about benching Eli Manning. I don't think they're there yet, but if he keeps wowing people, they have to think about it. Kyler Murray struggled a little bit on Thursday. He's trying to run a new offense with his new coach, Cliff Kingsbury. So there's definitely going to be some obstacles into getting that and making that offense look good. And Dwayne Haskins, also like Kyler Murray, struggled last night. They played against the Cincinnati Bengals. Didn't look good, but that's what happens when you're a rookie quarterback in the NFL. There's going to be struggles. You get kind of used to it. But none of these guys have looked bad, and that's the important thing, that it doesn't look like they're going to be draft busts. Speaking
of not looking bad, there are a lot of people who are excited about the Cleveland Browns. Do you think this could be their year to make the playoffs?
Well, the Browns hype train is just kind of going crazy right now, and the person in charge of keeping that on the track is Coach Freddie Kitchens. They absolutely have the talent to win that division and get to the playoffs. But the thing is, nobody knows if Freddie Kitchens can actually be a head coach. He had a former assistant last year call him out and say, hey, Kitchens can't actually coach. And also think the Browns don't have the experience that another team like the Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens, two teams in their division, have. Browns haven't been to the playoffs since 2002. They haven't won their division since 1989. So it's hard to say how that team's going to react if they're in a playoff race down the stretch in November and December.
So I hate to ask this question, but is there any team that's showing signs that they might potentially disappoint this year?
Oh, and I hate to answer it, too, because this is when I get hate tweets. But I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. They are in a tough division. They're in there with the Minnesota Vikings, who were a good team last year. Lost a few close games. The Vikings should be better. They're in division with the Green Bay Packers, and they're always tough because Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And the Bears went 12-4 in 2018. It's really tough to repeat that kind of success, especially when you have a young quarterback, a young coach. So I don't know if the Bears are going to disappoint fans, but I do look for them to win a few less games than they won last year.
You know the thing I don't like, John, when we do these NFL segments? Nobody wants to talk about my hometown Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Rena, I'm sorry. It's the small town teams that get lost in the Florida shuffle. But hey, they got a new coach this year.
Yes, they do.
Maybe Bruce Arians, and I know Nick Carter. I see him tweeting about him, the Backstreet Boys. So people are trying to bring him out there.
Me and Nick Carter are going to band together on this one. John Breech, thank you very, very much for joining us with this update.